What is up, YouTube? This is Welding coming at you again with another homemade project. Today we are building a motorized trike. Now this is not a drift trike like most of you are going to want me to build, but this is just a normal trike build thing. So first off, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this old project that really didn't work out, 50cc or 70cc, whatever it is. I'm going to take the front end off of that, and I got a new tire and new inner tube for it. I'm going to take these tires. Now these were the tires that I took off of that old go-kart thing that I'm eventually going to turn into a go-kart, but that's not yet. That's for the future. Here's the seat, and of course we have a Harbor Freight special, which I love because they're only $100 with a coupon. Centrifugal clutch, and I'm going to be using this inch and a half steel square tubing for the frame. So it should be a pretty easy build, pretty simple. These don't take that long to build, but and I know a lot of you really like it when I do time lapse of me working on this stuff, but I can't really do time lapse and the video of me showing you how I explaining all this stuff. So what I'm going to do is make two videos. One of them will be me explaining all this stuff, explaining why I did it, how I did it, and all that stuff. And then the other video will be the time lapse. So therefore, all videos will be shorter and just simpler to make. So let's get started on this thing. Okay, so what I have done is I took the old bike, cut off the front end. Here's the front end. It works. It's kind of tight, but whatever. Ground the paint off because I didn't like it. I put the new tire on. New tire's nice, looks nice. It's awesome. I also ground the paint off of these things. These are the things I'm going to use for the frame. I didn't show these in the time lapse of me grinding all the paint off because it took me like an hour and a half and it was really boring. So all I gotta do next is take one of these and put it on just like that. Enough clearance for the tire, and just grind all the paint, or grind it until it flushly fits that thing right there. So that's what's next. Let's get started. Okay, so I welded on that right there. It's a pretty decent weld. I made it so this tire can spin 360 degrees without it touching there. And now all I have to do is put an angle on this piece right here so I can butt it up against here and weld it on. I tell you, it really helps when you're building a project like this to have like these kind of cinder blocks, or these are actually fire brick. Anyway, it really helps to have something like this so we can set it up, make sure everything lines up, because that has to line up to here. Make sure it's level, and it just really helps me build all this kind of stuff. So all I gotta do is, again, cut that right there, weld it onto here. Simple enough. Okay, so now I got this welded on, so next thing is this cross section right here. Now I'm going to be putting the motor right there. So what I gotta do is figure out exactly how long this needs to be, so I can weld. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna, ouch, those are hot. Here's the sprocket, here's the wheel. The sprocket, there's a bolt going through here, just like that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to weld this to here, and then this on the side right there flat. So therefore this is going to be just like that. So it's not going to be on top or below. It's going to be flat against the metal, like that. So I got to figure out exactly how long to make it so I can fit the motor and fit the seat and all that. So let's start that. Okay, so I got it all cut to size. Excuse me, and I got this welded on. Beefy welds, hopefully they hold. And I got this side on too. So now all I gotta do is find the exact middle of this thing and just weld it onto there. Should be simple enough. Okay, so the frame is almost done. I got the basic mock-up for this thing. I tell you, I love working with this 1/8 inch steel. It's just so easy to weld. There's no blowouts, there's no nothing. You just simple and easy to weld. I love it. So, next step I guess is, I have no idea what the next step is. I guess the seat. Could be the seat or the motor. Or, I don't know. Just put the tires on and figure it out from there. Okay, so I put the tires on and I just placed the seat there and I placed the motor there. This is what it's going to look like. Now of course the motor's not on there, it's just sitting on there by a brick. So I decided to make a clutch outboard, so therefore I can make it much closer, much more closer to the ground. So all I gotta do is cut some angle iron, 8 inches, and then drill holes. And then what I'm gonna do is, normally how you tighten the chain is you can either slide it back and forward. Well, that's great, except for the clutch is right over the sprocket, so you're gonna have to slide this thing forward and back a lot for you to tighten the chain. So what I'm gonna do is I'm not gonna have it slide back and forward. I'm just gonna put washers, but in between the motor plate and the motor, and just bring it up just a tiny bit. Just put in enough washers just to tighten up the chain. So it'll make it a lot easier on me. Make it so I can don't have to slide this thing back and forward and all that stuff, and I can still tighten the chain. So then the seat, how I'm gonna attach that is, I have no idea yet. It comes with these little crappy bolts. I may just take some angle iron, like the motor, and then just drill a hole there, and then bolt the seat down, and then just weld the angle iron to the steel, or something like that. I'm not sure yet. So this thing is looking really sweet. Something I did not intend to do is that from that tire to that tire is 4 feet. It's kind of really wide. So yeah, I really kind of wanted it to be 3 feet, but so on mistake I cut this piece 3 feet. I forgot that the tires stick out, so it's 4 foot and can't really do anything about it. So anyway, let's keep going with this thing. Alright, it's the second day of me building this thing, and I gotta say, I'm actually really surprised at how far I got in one day. These things are super easy to build. So, what I did was, I got the motor mounted, and then now all I have to do is just strengthen it. I got this piece of metal, I'm gonna cut it to certain lengths and certain shapes, and then just strengthen them and, you know, do all that kind of stuff to just strengthen this, make sure it's not gonna fall off. And then next is the seat. I already have these brackets mounted. I just gotta cut the groove in there so it'll slide onto this thing, and then put it on, tack it on, take the seat off, and then weld the whole thing on. Excuse me. And then once I get those two things done, then I gotta put the chain on, figure out how high the motor is gonna go. Like I said, this motor is not gonna be sliding back and forward to tighten the chain. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put washers in between here and the motor to lift the motor up as much as I need to. So makes it a lot easier on me to mount the motor. So yeah, this thing's coming along great. This thing looks actually really fun. Anyway, let's keep going. Okay, so I got the braces on. I braced up the motor mount. All I did was I welded these little thingies on and then welded this cross piece on just to strengthen it all up. And then I welded the bracket for the seat. The seat's going to be angled upward a little bit, therefore it's going to be more comfortable to sit on. I got the front brake on. The front brake's going to be the only brake, so therefore it had to be good. So what I did was I just cut off the tube of an old bicycle and just welded it onto the frame. It's actually pretty good. Hopefully it'll last. So now all I have left is to just put this thing back together and put the chain on and then hook the throttle cable. This is going to be the throttle because I didn't I ordered a twist grip throttle, but they were out of stock after I ordered it, so I'm just gonna do this as the throttle. But anyway, should work just the same. This thing should be awesome. So let's put it back together. Okay, so I got it all put back together, and this thing is looking sweet. The chain's on. It's fairly tight. Works beautifully. No noise, no nothing. So all I gotta do is hook up the throttle cable, and that's what I'm trying to do. The longest cable I had, which is that one right there, wasn't long enough. So I had to weld on those little right there. Those little things. Those let me put in a cable. Or, let me show you. So you're able to come on, dang it, this cable's frayed. I can't do it. Alright, anyway, so you stick that thing in there and it stays like that, and then you put the other one on the other side, and then you hook up the two wires, you're gonna loop them, and then you got a really long cable. So there you go. That's what I gotta do next. And this thing's looking sweet. Something I realized is this thing is seriously gonna wanna drift to the right every time you hit the gas, because think about it. This wheel is the only one that's under power. So therefore, as soon as you hit the gas, the thing's just gonna wanna drift to the right. And it's also gonna go really fast when you're turning left, and really slow when you're turning right. Yeah, so I don't know if that's good or if it's bad. Whatever, I can't really do anything about it. I was thinking about putting an axle under all this and then having both of them turn, but that would make it almost impossible to turn on this thing. So I'm just gonna go with the one wheel powered. Hope it's not too weird to ride or anything. Anyway, so all I gotta do is hook the throttle cable up, and then she's done. Put some oil and gas in this thing and take it for a test drive. So, yeah, I built this thing in a day and a half, actually. That's actually really fast. So, probably a record for me building something. So, anyway, this is probably going to be the first video of this thing. Then the other video will be me showing you how to ride. The time-lapse videos. I have like 3 hours of video that I have to speed up and then upload. So I don't know how many videos that's going to be. Probably 3, 4 at the max of time-lapse videos of me building this thing. Hopefully it's not too boring or anything. Anyway, so look for the video of me showing you guys how this thing works and how testing this thing out. So, thank you for watching, subscribe, and have a nice day.